Yeah,
No
yes,
worries.
Steve.
Continue on
So,
the stage. Yeah.
welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Bluesfantv. I hope you guys are keeping well. Big shout out to everyone that is logged in, everyone that's subscribed to the channel. I want to say a big thanks to you guys. Let's keep growing as a family. And as I always say, I promise to keep bringing you ultimate update, from Chelsea. Today, I've got one of my biggest fan, Chelsea biggest fan, the man on the stage, Joseph, on the channel today, and don't forget, it's Beyond the Bridge. We call this program Beyond the Bridge just to bring out, one or two things that has happened in the past games and what's really going on in Chelsea. So Joseph, welcome back to the channel. Just a quick, introduction to the fan. Let's see, just to get familiar with who is on the channel.
Yeah, I go by the name of Mr. Swashbuckler, aka Joseph, and a big fan of Chelsea
Yeah.
and a pioneer of Blue Fans TV. You know,
Yeah.
me and bro been logged in for a minute.
Yeah, bro, we all started together. It's been a long journey, to be honest. We just hope this continue going, and the sky is the limit. To be honest with you guys, we've not been able to, let's say, 100% consistency, but I think that's how things are being done. You need to start from somewhere, keep growing, keep doing things, and of course, when you get to that level where everything starts cooking pretty much, then you can see more of the faces on the channel. So, yeah, guys, we won't take much of time. We just want to get into the business and, get something out of it. So, Joseph, we're back at the bridge yesterday,
Yeah.
and obviously, before the start of the game, everyone was, anticipating for the win. And luckily for us, we went into that game with a good mindset. You know, First 20 minutes was absolutely amazing. We won the game. What do you make out of that game yesterday, to be honest?
To be honest, I'm not gonna give them any big credibility. I would say it was normal service resume. And I'm a little bit I find Maresca's interview a little bit funny
Yeah,
because we Chelsea fans have been behind him. When
yeah,
when he messed up at Old Trafford when we had a red card, he took Esteva off. He's been making some questionable decisions, but we've backed him. But the last straw was when we faced Atalanta. We had to voice our frustrations because you can't have Esteva, an attacking player, on the bench and Gittins is struggling and you don't take Gittins off. You know what I mean? So the fans were rightly so not to be unamused with him. And we needed a response. Because yesterday, if we hadn't gotten a response, he would have been under hellfire, believe you me. So I thought it was normal service resume. We deserve to be where we are. Because you can't be Barcelona and play 10 men with Arsenal and all of a sudden start faltering. Our problem with Maresca is to give us consistency. If he give us the consistency, he will enjoy his fruits of his labor. We will be behind him.
yeah. I absolutely agree with you. I think he went into the conference yesterday with a boiling mind, trying to, showcase his hunger as well. But it's all divided into two ways, to be honest. Some people think this is directly to the fans because if you watch the end of the interview, he said we're happy with the fans, with this, with that. And some people are thinking maybe he's not happy with the management, the ownership, and something is going wrong. Maybe during the midweek he was, questioned about how he has been managing the team for the past 4 or 5 games. And do you think, realistically, this is coming down to the fans, or maybe Maresca had, a issue with the ownership? And if that's so, what do you think, or what do you see coming from that response?
And now, ultimately, everything lies with Maresca. You can't fault the owners. You can't fault the administration. They've been behind him. They've given him the tools. And, you know what I mean? Whenever he wants a player, apart from the fact that he wanted us to sign another defender when Colwell was injured and they didn't do that, he has all the tools. We've got quality players in our stride. Most of our problems have been Maresca pressing the self-destruction button. And that's what us fans wasn't pleased with, and we had to voice our displeasure. Because Leeds, and then with Bournemouth and Atalanta, all those are winnable games. Do you know what I mean? He's been
Yeah,
inconsistent, and sometimes his selection and substitutions has been questionable. That's why the fans was unamused with him. Maresca is a good manager. We know, doubting that. We appreciate where he's brought us, and Chelsea fans are not plastic fans. But one thing about us Chelsea fans as well, we can't be fooled. We know what we expect of the team. The team got some great players and some great individuals. So if he makes the right decisions, we will be at the top where we belong.
absolutely. Absolutely, I do agree with you. And to me, I just hope it's not a situation whereby he has to, dive into having a problem with the ownership, because we know these multi-billionaires, they don't have chills. They can't make decision whenever they want, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like if he is going to be having problem with the ownership, it means his job is not secure at any point, to be honest with you. So I feel like, he needs to take things easy. If fans are not happy, fans are not happy. If you are winning games, if you are doing the right thing, sometimes it's not about winning games. Like you said, we experience, quite a few distress against United, against Brentford. I was personally fuming against Brentford because we don't deserve to kind of, draw that game, to be honest. United as well, we should have gone maybe a draw or make a point out of that game. And of course, when you look at the game against Brighton as well, against Sunderland, so I think the inconsistency, you know, is just something that needs to be looking into, like you said. But having said that, to be honest, uh, I just feel like at this point, where do we go from here? Because a lot of Chelsea fans believe that Maresca only win games whenever he wants to win games, you know. And I don't know if what you want to say about this, but I've had quite a few Chelsea fans saying that Maresca only win games whenever he wants to win games.
No, he wins games when he knows the pressure is on. Because during the week, that's why he said he's had the worst 2 weeks of his
Yeah,
career. I mean, now he's had the worst week of his career since he joined Chelsea because pressure was mounting. And they let him know that, hey, if you don't buckle up, we have some replacements for you. And rightly so, we've been patient. Nobody has forced him. We've been patient, but we can't accept that him pressing that self-destruction button, making some questionable decisions. Because you can't have Estava, who's our best player, and we in Atalanta we need the game needs to be changed, and you've got players playing out of position. Yes, Gasto's been incredible of late, but you can't have Gasto in the midfield when you need to change the game and you go Facundo Buonanotte and Esteva on the bench, who needed to come on in their right positions. Do you know what I mean? He
yeah,
never done that, so he's made some questionable decisions. His substitutions, his selections, which is I think should be the basic, it hasn't been spot on. I think Maresca was getting complacent because
mm,
when he beat Barcelona, he managed 10 man against Arsenal to
that's-
galvanize a draw. He was getting complacent. So he needed a kick up the backside that, hey, we're not playing games. We expect some results. Because he started to do some experiments, which I doubt it. And obviously, Tosin as well. He shouldn't have come in against Atalanta.
mhm.
I'm not being hard on the boy, but Tosin was the one that committed the free kick that
Yeah,
led to the Calater
yeah,
scoring the winning goal. So he has himself to be blamed with some of the selections and the decision making. But moving on, if he can be serious and be consistent, everybody will be happy.
like yeah. I saw one of his comments saying that we're still on the track. The fact that we've played most of this season without Cole, and at least we've missed Casado as well in one of the four game or 3 game. So to Maresca, it feels like we're still not in that position whereby we have full squad to play the game. Do you still believe that without these boys, we should be lacking or we should be having inconsistency in the team? Because to me, I feel like we have one of the biggest, squad in Premier League at the moment. Like you said, we have Bonanote. I've not even seen him for 5, 6, 7 games. Where we desperately even need him, is not showing up. I don't know. What do you think about this statement? Palmer being out for a couple of time in the season, and Casado also missing out on some couple of games. Is this a
No,
real
that's Maresca trying to be clever. He's trying to deflect. Yes, Cole Palmer and Moises Caicedo are pivotal to our team. Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. But
Yeah,
like you said, we have a well-oiled squad. We have a big squad. We got quality players in there. So we should have been fine without Caicedo and Palmer. Yes, we missed them, but we could have beaten those teams if Maresca had made the right decisions. We was in the ascendancy against Atalanta. We were leading comfortably, and then you took off Neto. Gittins was struggling. You could have given Esteval some minutes and brought in Fakunde Buonanotte instead of putting Gasto in the middle. You could have put Gasto a right back and then rest Reece James like he wanted. But he didn't do that. He was playing players out of position and disrespecting the opposition. Especially, he is quite interesting when he said, Esteval, welcome to the league when we went to Leeds. You knew Leeds was going to come at us. You
Yeah.
knew Leeds was going to come at us. So we should have gone there with our strong squad, but he didn't. He tweaked the defense and brought in Tosin and stuff. And that's where we capitulated. One thing I have with Maresca is I understand he wants to protect players. Yes, that's cool. But sometimes the most important thing is winning games. That's why you have a big squad. If you play your strong players and come a time that they are injured, then you fill in with your other players. Look at us now.
Yeah.
Whenever Saliba and Gabriel are fit, they've been playing. When they are unavailable, then he's brought in the other players,
Mosquera,
Shearer and
Mbappe.
Hakimi.
Yeah.
That's what we meant to do. Play your strong players at all times. When they get injured, then you bring in other players, or when we are in a comfortable lead, then you can try one or two players.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. But he doesn't. When we meet in an opposition who he thinks is we should be able to beat them, then he changes the team. And when you do that, you upset the rhythm of the team. He makes wholesale changes, and the players come in and they fluff their lines. And that's our problem with Maresca. He needs to be consistent and stop over experimenting. Keep it simple. You know what I mean? If he does it simple, we trust me, we've got the tools to challenge for the league title and be up there in the Champions League. That's what I think.
Right. Like, to be honest, I do really agree with you, and these are crucial points and what's going on at the moment, behind the bridge. Let's just quickly talk about some couple of players. Yesterday, Palmer is back. That goal, that goal. How do you feel about it? Coming back from injury against Leeds. I do believe that I should have make it 2-2 against Leeds, but I wouldn't talk too much about that because for a player that's been just coming up from injury, and yes, yesterday we have that magnificent goal from Palmer. What should we expect, going forward now if Palmer keeps fit?
Yeah, we should expect big things. You're right about that one. Well spotted against Leeds. I thought he could have scored that goal. But reason why Palmer missed was he was rusty. That was like his first game. So once people like Palmer, they special. If you got the ability, you got the ability. Once he was just rusty. Once he's got that little minutes under his belt, you could see the results. Because that ball, you would have thought it wasn't Jordan Pickford, who is the England number one. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He just beat him
Yeah.
so simple.
Easily, bro.
He
I
makes the
think,
difficult things look simple. He's an
yeah,
experienced player. One
yeah,
thing that I think all Chelsea fans are looking forward to is we want to see Palmer being paired with Esteval. Pair the two players and let them
yeah,
destroy teams. That's
yeah,
what I don't
definitely.
know why Maresca is holding fire. He needs to pair Palmer and Esteval. Then
Yeah,
let's pick up teams like
yeah.
nobody's business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree with you, but the problem we've got right now is when you want to. I think right now, to me, I don't think Neto deserves to be benched. I think Neto deserves to be on the pitch, to be honest. But if you want to introduce Esteval from the start of the game, it means you need to let go of Garnacho and of course Gittins.
Oh,
Because
precisely.
you
Precisely.
need to bring Neto on the left flank as well because you don't want to bench Neto. He's a very dangerous guy. He's always there to produce. But I don't think Maresca at the moment feels so comfortable. Benching his normal, left wingers for Pedro Neto. So I think that's where Esteval is going to be having problem right now.
No, I think what he has to do is Pedro Neto has to start. He's earned the right.
Yeah.
But what you do is you put Garnacho on the bench because Garnacho has a big ego. When Garnacho is on the bench, he will want to prove himself when he comes on. You want to make a
Yeah.
statement. So
Yeah.
use that to your advantage and let Palmer and Esteval build the chemistry. Because we saw that at the preseason game when I think we played AC Milan or something. You saw the way them two, the chemistry between them was absolutely magnificent. So we need that cohesion between Palmer and Esteval. They need to develop an understanding between them so that when we get to the crucial part of the season, we will be able to pick up teams. So that's what he needs to do. Because that Esteval boy, he's shining for Brazil. If you keep putting him on the bench, now you will have the Brazilians making memories that he should go to Man City or Real Madrid and start.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And that's why I
Yeah.
don't want that situation developing. Because yesterday, when they were exiting the tunnel in Stamford Bridge, you could see clearly the boy is unhappy. And the other time as
Absolutely.
well, you're filming on the
Absolutely.
touchline. Do you know what I
Absolutely. I
mean?
saw the other
Yeah,
players were celebrating, but he was just like smiling, and because he wants more minutes, bro. He wants to play.
yeah, because he's hot. He's at the moment he's hot. So let him burn. Let him burn. I don't know why Maresca keeps putting him on the bench. His management of him has been great to some regard. That is good. We don't let, how do we call it, expectations go over the roof, and he's in a new country. But the boy is adjusted brilliantly. So at least give him some minutes. If he's not gonna start, he's on the bench. Give him some minutes. But you can't afford to keep such a talent on the bench, because clearly, if you had played him against Atalanta, I think we would have come away with a result.
Absolutely, especially in that second half. We desperately need him. I don't know. I don't know why, but it's up to him, to be honest, because we've all as a fans see it that this boy needs to come in. He just need to, like you said in the preseason. I think being on the pitch with Palmer is additional, additional. How do I say, confidence for him? He likes to play
Oh
along
yeah,
with Palmer. He wants to always prove him. He wants to always make something happen. He's just that kind of a player. You can't take it out of him, to be honest. But like I said, I think Mariska is trying to take things slowly, maybe not wanting the fans to sort of rely too much on that sort of young players. But we'll see how it goes as the season go by. So let's wrap this up. Uh, Tariq George is looking out to leave Chelsea in January, and this is my perception. I think he's a young talent. I think last season this boy was part of the reason why we went to Champions League. I can't forget that goal against Fulham, which
mm-hmm.
made everything looks clear to us that we probably will be making it to the Champions League. And now he wants to go. Obviously, in the summer, the deal breaks up between Fulham and all these things. But to be honest, when you look at the players that we've brought in this season, can we definitely say a player like Gittins that is benched, you know, is benched in the England under 21 for Tariq George most of the time, and Garnacho that's not really giving us those things that we really expect as a Premier League proven player. What do you think about Tariq George trying to leave Chelsea in January?
Before
Obviously
I
not
get
the
to the Tyreek George situation,
yeah.
I have to give plaudits to Ganacho. Ganacho now is a crucial squad member.
Yeah.
Ganacho's only problem is his finishing. Sometimes it can be a little bit woeful, because yesterday, if he had the scoring boots on, he should have
Yeah.
at least had 2 goals.
Yeah.
But his pace and the way he beats players, you see the way he sat Jules Koundé down against Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
He's crucial and he has the pace. And with him, he has an ego. He has that superiority complex, which I like, because you need that. So Ganacho is a crucial squad member. But it boils down to Tyreek George. He should have been playing instead of Dilap. Dilap has been an absolute stinker. I wouldn't want to see Tyreek George go, because Tyreek George can chip in with the old goals. Tyreek George as well can play on the wing if we need him be. So if Maresca, the way he likes to experiment with things, I would have rather preferred Tyreek George sometimes playing as the lone striker. Because clearly, if Dilap hasn't got his scoring boots on, and Jao Pedro as well, I'm slightly disappointed in him. I expect more from him. He hasn't been pulling his weight. Then you need to be putting, what's his name? Tyreek Job up front. Which sometimes we deal. You need
Yeah.
to give them minutes, because Tyreek George, he scored for the England under 21s as well. He scored. He made the goal look so easy. I think since Maresca's played him a couple of times as the lone striker up front, he's getting used to, accustomed to that role. Like Mbappe doing for Madrid.
Yeah.
If you keep him there a few times, I think he can score a few goals, because he has a sting in his shot. So if they want to let Tyreek George go, I would say not January. That would be diabolical to let him go, because we haven't got enough players to fill in his position. We need to keep him. He's a good squad member. End of the season, then that's fine if you want to let him go if we've got an adequate striker. But me personally, I think the boy is developing. He's on a good trajectory. So I think we should keep him.
Right.
Dilap should be the one on the bench. Yes, we spent money on him, but let's face
Yeah.
facts. Dilap's
Oh,
been rubbish. He's been
yeah.
total rubbish.
I totally agree with you. The problem is that I think these players, when they come into the Premier League, they play for a small club, they do all their best to make sure they give their 100%. You see, once they got that deal done, when it's deal done from that big club signed, bro, it's gone. It's gone. They feel totally relaxed. I was so pissed off against Bournemouth because I had to went back after the game to check his performance when he was playing for Ipswich last season against Bournemouth. This guy was on fire. He even
Oh
scored
yeah.
that kind of, magnificent goal. Very, I mean, and here you go. You're in Chelsea, a team that is more prolific, more productive than Ipswich, and you couldn't make anything happen against Bournemouth. I don't think he even had one shot on target, bro. So,
But let me identify Dilap's problem. I think hand on heart, the Chelsea number 9 jersey is a poison chalice. It's cursed. When he came, they told him not to pick the number 9 shirt. He went and picked the number 9 shirt and said he doesn't believe in curses. And I think whatever has happened to that number 9 shirt is the effects that's happening to Dilap. Because, like you said, if you go and watch his clips of when he used to be at Ipswich, oh, he was a hot striker. Do you know what I mean? You give him a little sniff and the ball is in the back of the net. But he can't do any of those at Chelsea. Yes, I understand the enormity of playing for a club like Chelsea. But I think with Dilap, it must be the curse of the number 9 jersey. He's weighing up on him big time. So I don't expect anything good to come out of him. Because look at it. He's had this he had that freak injury, the hamstring, and
yeah.
then recently the shoulder injury. He can't gain any consistency. So I think the number 9 is a poison chalice. We haven't had any player to crack that code. And even if you bring Victor Osimhen and he puts on the number 9 jersey, he's gonna flop. You need a different jersey. Drogba was successful because he had on 15. He didn't put on the number 9 jersey. I don't know what's happened with that number 9 jersey, but it's a poison chalice. You can go
Bro,
back to the days of Chris Sutton. The only Chelsea striker who's cracked that code is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
yeah,
He
that's
was
about,
the only one wearing number 9 jersey. Diego Costa, all of them never wore
yeah,
number 9 jersey.
yeah.
So I think that's the problem with Dilap. I'm a
Even
little bit superstitious. No.
Yeah, even the almighty Torres that was on fire in Liverpool came down to put on that number 9 jersey, and he totally flopped, totally flopped.
Oh yeah,
So we could
yeah.
still remember some beautiful moments from him, but obviously not to that expectation, not to that level where we saw him in Liverpool playing as a striker. Well, we won't be seeing it more than this on this channel. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. This we're bringing it down from you from behind the bridge. We call the program Behind the Bridge. I hope you guys really enjoyed this very short one, but I hope this sink into what you really need this afternoon. Thank you so much, Joe, for joining the program. I really do appreciate it, Joe. I want to see you on this every week.
Oh, well, I'm always available. I'm a busy man, you're a busy man and stuff, but I'm never
Yeah.
too busy for you and my beloved Chelsea. So once we make the right arrangements, I'm always available to share my thoughts with the viewers and stuff. But I think you're doing an incredible job, and I particularly enjoyed your coverage of the Chelsea and Arsenal game. That
Yeah.
interview you had of that
Yeah.
Arsenal Patriots,
Yeah.
I think that was a viral moment. That was a
Yeah, bro.
viral moment. I
Yeah,
totally enjoyed it, and big
yeah.
up to you for the magnificent job you're doing and
Yeah.
keep it up.
Thank you so much, Joe. Let's keep going. I used to tell people on this channel, it sometimes looks like impossible, to be honest. Having to come down from Leeds for every game looks impossible. But obviously, just the passion, and the fact that I always put behind that people are expecting something from me, to be honest. It's just my duty to come in, week out, just to make sure at least people can hear the Chelsea voice. People can, come on the channel anytime, any day, and speak their mind. and that's what I just want to do, to be honest. So thank you very much for the kind gesture.
Nah, thank you very much. You
Uh,
deserve all the plaudits, and I will say yes, it's difficult for you, but you know, keep putting out here, and then eventually you're gonna get your flowers.
yeah,
Because yeah, you're dedicated everywhere you do. You giving us coverage, even with Leeds when it was unpleasant and we lost. You had a
yeah,
very good interview with the guys there. So you're
yeah,
everywhere. You're everywhere. So we
yeah,
appreciate you. You
yeah.
keep doing what you do, and eventually you get your plaudits.
Right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So, guys, we'll see you on to the next one. Peace and love.
Nice one. Up the